Right, let's continue our conversation on Stoicism, going over the Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. We had ended up in book 10, which is already coming along significantly, and I was thinking today of section 13. As soon as you wake from sleep, ask yourself, will it make any difference to you if others criticize what is in fact just and true? No, it will not. You have surely not forgotten what these people who whinny in praise or blame of others are like in their bed and at their board, the sort of things they do and avoid or pursue. They are cheating and stealing, not with hands and feet, but with the most precious part of themselves, the part where, if allowed, there grows trust, decency, truth, law, the spirit of goodness. Well, that's another fun one, isn't it? I think there's a couple of things here to think about. One thing is, I think, a very powerful thing to remind yourself of. Will it make any difference to you if others criticize what is in fact just and true? To me, this harkens back to Epictetus, we talked about quite a while ago, and his statement, and I'm paraphrasing here, of when other people criticize you, ask yourself whether what they're saying is true. If it is true, then don't be upset. If it is not true, then don't be upset. And that's one that I find I have to remind myself of quite a lot, because I tend to forget about that one, where in fact I think it's an incredibly powerful statement. How often in everyday life do we not get upset, angry, sad over what other people tell us? How often do we not let that affect us, sometimes greatly? And that lays bare how much power other people can have over us, not just with their actions, but often just with their words. And that is something that you can revoke. That power you can revoke by thinking about what it means, what they are saying, and by remembering, by reminding yourself that you have the power to not let yourself be affected. People's words get to you because you let them get to you. And that may sound easier said than done, but I really believe this is true. You have that power to say, well, I have to talk to this person. They get under my skin, they upset me. What if I don't let them upset me? I know this is what it's going to be like. So what if I don't let them upset me? And I enjoy this sentence here. As soon as you wake up from sleep, I also like that, right? Immediately, as the first thing in the morning, ask yourself, will it make any difference to you if others criticize what is in fact just and true? Now, of course, you walk a thin line here, because you have to be careful not to assume that everything you do or say is just and true. You could be wrong. In some cases, you could be very wrong, right? You could be very, very wrong. So that is something to think about. But provided that we are in a situation, say, where you know that you have not done anything wrong, you've not made any mistakes, and yet, and I just casually say that as if that's a very easy situation. It's not an easy situation, but again, just for the sake of argument, and you realize that you have not done anything wrong. When others then criticize you, when they make remarks about things about you or something that you know are not actually true, they're not really true. Now, I think that can be a very powerful way to deal with the feelings these kinds of scenarios evoke. It can become a lot easier to deal with what they are saying and the effect those words have on you. When you remind yourself of that sentence, will it make any difference to you if others criticize what is in fact just and true? No, it will not. No, it will not. People can criticize what you do, but if you are being stoic, if you are sticking to the virtues, the justice, the temperance, the wisdom, the courage, the things that we've talked about a couple of times. In other words, if you are acting with integrity and others still seek to criticize you, then it may no longer be a you problem. Then it may be a them problem. Of course, that does assume that you are actually acting with integrity. If not, then this statement doesn't hold. But if you are, maybe their words are not so powerful. In fact, maybe their words need not have any power over you, right? You have surely not forgotten what these people who whinny in praise or blame of others are like in their bed and at their board, the sort of things they do and avoid or pursue, their cheating and stealing, not with hands and feet, but with the most precious part of themselves, the part where, if allowed, there grows trust, decency, truth, law, the spirit of goodness. What if you assume that some people simply don't have the best of intentions and they will say certain things to upset you or get to you, and then you take away that power by not being upset or offended by what they say to you? I'm not saying that that's an easy thing to do, but with practice it becomes easier. And then I think you can always retreat in what B.R.E, who wrote about Stoicism a lot, a philosopher who wrote a lot about Stoicism, called the inner citadel. Right? You can always withdraw into that inner citadel. You can always be in your mind. And if you are able to draw up powerful defenses by assessing what other people say and learning how to deal with what other people say, then your mind is a safe place. A place where you can withdraw, where you are not affected by what other people tell you. And I think that is a skill that we should probably teach in school. I'm not commenting negatively on the school system, but I sometimes think that it would be very useful if, in addition of Pythagoras' theorem, which is very useful, we would also teach children how to be resilient, how to deal with setbacks in life, how to deal with people who may say upsetting things. But we don't, for whatever reason. Anyway, thinking about that in these terms, I like his poetic language. You've surely not forgotten what these people who whinny in praise or blame of others are like in their bed and at their board, the sort of things they do and avoid or pursue, their cheating and stealing, not with hands and feet, but with the most precious part of themselves. The part where, if allowed, there grows trust, decency, truth, law, and spirit of goodness. Some people steal from you with their minds. Some people can affect us by saying certain things or doing certain things that then upset us. but then we allow them to steal from us, not our money or our possessions, but our peace of mind. And as a result, we start to feel bad and we suffer. We have allowed them to steal our peace of mind, to steal our calmness. And I think that's some of the worst stealing, because then other people get to affect us. And I think if you consistently and habitually practice Stoicism, that you can learn to be less affected. If you are to become a true Stoic master, then you would not be affected at all. But I don't think that's achievable. At least not for most of us. It's definitely not for me. But I've learned to become a lot less affected by those things that happen to me or the things that people say to me. So it is within our reach, and I think that can make our lives a lot easier. I hope this was useful. We shall continue again next week with more talk about Stoicism. Let me know what you think about this section, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye!